I just want to show you one more thing about, I just wanted to make you hear McLuhan describe what means he had in his mind to make such prediction. It makes you cry.
Instead of going out and buying a package book, of which there have been 5,000 copies printed, you will go to the telephone, describe your interests, your needs, your problems, and say, I'm working now on the history of Egyptian arithmetic. I know a bit of Sanskrit. I'm qualified in German, and I am a good mathematician. They said, it'll be right over. And they at once Xerox, with the help of computers from the libraries of the world, all the latest material just for you personally, not as something to be put out on the bookshelf. They send you the package as a direct personal service. This is where we're heading under electronic information conditions. Products increasingly are becoming services.
So that's, I quickly make a resume of what he just said. What he's saying basically is he's describing the internet with the tool of his time. He's describing the connection to research in a library by actually using one's telephone, asking for the guidance of the librarian, having the whole package sent and brought to you personally, which is something that wasn't happening, of course, in his time. So what I'm saying is he has very naive, primitive tools for expanding his perception of what really things are going to happen as electricity matures, or as we mature in electricity, which is another very big issue. Now I want to show you, but maybe I can't, maybe I should get to that later. Because of all the disaster here, I don't want to make you waste your time. Yes, no, I want to go back to the predictions because they show you one method of McLuhan. A method of McLuhan which he called the tetrad. That is a 4-part series of consequences to any kind of medium. Any new medium, said McLuhan, would extend some part of the body or some part of the mind of man. It would make redundant, obsolete. It would push together or return in a form of art the previous medium. It would reverse into a much older medium and flip, reverse into its contrary at a certain moment when it was established. And this actually, I've always had uncertain sentiments about this particular method, but I have to say that one thing is true. It allows you to understand the kinds of reversal that electricity has actually brought into our culture. Reversal between night and day being one of them. But the huge reversal, the biggest reversal that McLuhan saw was in 1957, on the 4th of October, the launching of Sputnik by the Russians that created a technology that turned around the planet and made nature obsolete and made the earth an art form. That's an amazing thought. The idea that a technology surrounding what was the dominant form of your life, which is nature, turns nature into yet another programmable form. It's very predictive. It's deeply predictive not only of what's happening now, but where we have to go. Because if indeed we are going to suffer as badly from climate change as we have already been suffering, and this is a threat that is going to be increasing rather than decreasing, there will not be another way of dealing with nature than to program it. Literally, as an art form. An example. One day I was flying from Seoul in Korea to Beijing. It was in October. The plane was delayed by 6 hours because snow had fallen for the first time on the new airport in Beijing. The snow had fallen in October, which never happened, because scientists in north of Beijing wanted to actually create rain 300 kilometers to the north, and they made a bad calculation. Now, did you know that actually people can now program climate? That used to be the God's power. It's amazing to think. I mean, I was there. I saw the stuff, the snow. Of course, these poor guys, not like Canadians who know how to handle snow on an airport, they were having a lot of trouble getting rid of the snow, and that's why it took so long for the plane to leave. But the idea that the snow would have, and the snow covered Beijing for at least 2 days or 3 days after that. It didn't melt away very fast. So what I'm saying, I'm giving you an example of that very powerful thought that McLuhan had. So what I wanted was to identify a few reversals. Here they are. These reversals, things that are happening now which are turning things around, so to speak. So, I found 6, but there are more. First of all, the extension of the senses, quite literally. McLuhan said that, electricity was the extension of the central nervous system outside of the body, circling around the planet and coming back. We made one with the planet. This was the most powerful way of being globalized. Being connected to an electronic grid that was actually doing the rounds of the whole planet. And of course, a new way of doing it is this. This is what connects you. This is what makes you global. You are, by definition, become global because you're carrying this. Even if you don't do anything but local calls, that doesn't matter. But that's what it is. That's what it does. So the extension of the senses, I want to show you something which is exactly that, and which is quite amazing. Then the return of medieval magic. Who has not seen Harry Potter movies? Some people have good taste. Well, that's good. I can't stand Harry Potter, I have to tell you, but it's maybe my problem. But the fact is that the reason Harry Potter got such an enormous amount of attention globally is that we live in a natural condition of medieval magic returned to us. You take this little machine, that's a magic wand. You take your keys and you open the door of your car at a distance, that's a magic action. We live in magic. Of course, we take it for granted, and we don't ask how it works. I'm sure that it was not quite the same in the Middle Ages. You sort of looked at the enchanter and said, how did you turn this man into a frog? Now you can do that. You can do it on computers anyway. So I want to show you a little bit of medieval magic in today's form. And then mind-machine direct connect. Do you know that there is a little machine now, a little task, a little helmet that you can buy online for $500, I think, called Emotive, and you can connect directly with your computer by thinking only. So I'll show you that. Wearing the world as your skin, that's another reversal. These are all reversal. The reversal of the conditions and the ground of where we were before. Wearing the world as our skin. That's an artist piece that actually allows you to connect physically and tactilely to the rest of the world. Of course, I'll explain later. Your digital profile. In Lima, most people are still safe. No, nobody's safe. But people are safer, I would say, than in Toronto or Naples or Paris. No, Toronto or Paris. Naples is the same. From having a great quantity of images and profile of yourself that you have no idea about. There's no idea about. The right to forget is a constitutional discourse going on in Europe right now that should normally make obligatory and legal the possibility of owning your own information. As you know, your information is not yours once you put it on Facebook. It belongs to Mark Zuckerberg. So that's one thing I want to discuss. And finally, I want to discuss our new condition. Every one of us. Who is not using a keyboard here at all? Who is never touching a keyboard here? See? Nobody. Well, a keyboard makes us all Pinocchio 2.0. I'll show you how that works. So let's first see the sixth sense. The sixth sense is something which was invented at MIT by Patty Mas and Pranav Mistry, who you see here. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it would be too long. But basically what it is, what you see here, is a helmet that contains a little projector. He has a cell phone in his pocket. He can use an interactive system constantly with all his environment to actually intercommunicate with that environment and create and be informed of everything that you can find online. Let me just sort of quickly go into